And cheers! I made a matcha latte for this video. So I hope that you are getting cozy because Imbolc is such a cozy holiday and it is going to be on the 1st and 2nd of February. So do let me know in the comments, are you celebrating? What are you doing? I'm pretty excited because I'm hoping that if all goes well with, I kind of have to check on some things like weather, drive time, Arthur's bedtime. I think I'm gonna contact my sister, see if she can babysit, that sort of thing, maybe. But I'm hoping to go to my first ever, like, in-person, full-out ritual for Imbolc. I've always, dreamt of, being in a coven and gathering with people and all, doing a ritual. And I've never actually had that experience. So I was kindly invited, actually, by someone that I know through doing this work online, Ricky Ray, to go to an Imbolc ritual. So I'm really hoping that I can go. So right now those are my plans, and probably making candles, like refreshing all of my candles. This one's getting very low, as you can see. So I actually have a whole playlist on Imbolc if you want to check it out, what the holiday is like, a recipe that you can make, a tarot spread that you can make, which we are basing this spread off of. I can't speak. We're basing the spread off of it. It's a candle tarot spread, and we're actually be making 3 candles for this one. And a guided meditation. So, yeah, blessed Imbolc, and let's get our messages. All right, so we have our spread complete. So we have 3 candles, as you can see. We have 1 for creativity, 1 for spirituality, and 1 for life. And yeah, basically we're using the Imbolc spread times 3. Each candle has a different intention. Also, if you want to get this spread for yourself personally, I am going to be going live and doing readings close to Imbolc one of those days, if not both of them. I'm going to be doing an Imbolc reading both on YouTube and on Twitch that you can get for yourself personally. So do check that out. But yeah, so each of the candles, each tier has a meaning, and the flame has a meaning as well. So let's begin with our creativity candle. I hear the train coming as well. Look at this, we've got the High Priestess, and this is the bottom row of the candles is like an underlying desire or an inkling or something that's kind of maybe perhaps lying dormant within you, and the spread is wanting you to kind of push it more towards the surface. So when I see the High Priestess in terms of creativity, I feel like there is some sort of budding inspiration on an intuitive sense, like on a deeper sense. And I almost feel like there might be a sort of a merging here too of creativity and spirituality. We'll see too if the candle of the spirituality candle relates to this. But here we have the High Priestess card, and it happens to be a fox. And I'm thinking about how sneakily foxes kind of run away. And something I want to say about this is I feel like this is something that maybe you've, at certain points been more aware of, and you're like, ooh, maybe I want to pursue that. But it sort of has its way of hiding, or its way of running away, or its way of escaping you. So it's like maybe other things get in the way and kind of distract you and pull you away. Or maybe it's a fleeting experience and you kind of put it away and you're like, oh, I'm not ready for that. Whatever it is, it has its way of escaping from you. And so I feel like this candle is about actually saying I see you. I see you. And it is time to create something from this. All right, so let's see what our next card is. This next card is something to reflect on to help bring this to the surface. The 2 of Wands. Oh, that's so interesting. The first word that came to mind was actually collaboration. And I feel like this is something that is different for different people, since this is a collective reading. This idea of collaboration, on one sense, since we're talking about things in a spiritual sense as well, even though this is, a creative pursuit, it might be in a way a collaboration between yourself and your guides. So I feel like this is saying, you know, upon reflecting on this, don't be afraid to, you know, reach out to your guides and to connect to them and, you know, connect through prayer, or kind of like ask for direction or ask for inspiration or ask for a sign, which is going to be the flame. So we'll see what that is. But for other people, I think there might be someone in your life who might be doing something similar to this, something that you find inspiring. And this is about having a conversation with them and saying, hey, I kind of want to do something like this too. Do you have any advice? Or even just like having someone to bounce ideas off of. Now, this isn't everyone though, because it has to be a very, like someone you really would trust with this. Because baby ideas, and we're talking about an idea, a creative idea in a very, you know, a very beginning, very baby stage. Baby ideas can sometimes get easily squelched. Again, the fox finding a way to run away and hide, you know, by someone else's reaction, honestly. Even if they don't intend for it to be a negative reaction, when we are at the beginning of something and it feels very sensitive, we kind of read into every little thing. So I think to be on the safe side, if you feel that way, take this with your guides and work on that, like that spiritual connection in building towards this creative pursuit that you have. But if you do have someone in your mind and it was like, oh yes, then I think reach out to that person. You know, if you felt a strong pull when I said that and looking at this card, like I think that would be a great idea. Now, there's some other people, and I think maybe this is like a smaller amount, I'm not sure. But I think this might actually be about a creative pursuit in which you're collaborating with someone. For example, like making a podcast together. That just popped into my head, so I don't know if that's for anyone. But you know, this is about actually like working on something creatively with a friend or a partner of some kind. And yeah, seeing what comes of that. So I'm very curious. Let me know if you relate to any of those. Our next card is about putting something into action. Wow, we have the Strength card. Okay, so this is when you start putting things into action for this project, you really have to think about sustainability, okay? So don't overcommit, especially if you are dealing with other people and if you have someone that you're like going to be communicating with and maybe even collaborating with about this, don't over promise or over commit, because if you start out with a lot of energy towards something, you might burn out pretty fast. And the Strength card is about endurance, and it's about kind of like building up your capacity to do this thing. So I think especially if you're collaborating with someone, kind of setting reasonable expectation towards small but consistent, diligent energy that you can put towards this. So it doesn't die out, you keep the flame lit, but you also don't burn out. And that's the thing. And what's interesting too is even if you're going to someone for advice, this could happen too, where you almost kind of like overly you know, describe what it is you want to do. And then if you start not doing that or meeting those expectations, you might have a sense of shame around it and then and then sort of hide and shy away from it. So I think that's really important to keep in mind. It's just like, keep things open for yourself. There is a sense of consistency and diligence and discipline with the Strength card, but it has to be a reasonable amount of energy that you're committing to. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that is the energy that you want to put towards the action for this project. Now, our flame is going to be like a sign or a guiding light as you do this. So let's see what it is. We have the King of Chalices. Look at these two dragons, by the way. We've got two blue dragons here. I just wanted to say that. So your sign is a feeling. Your sign is an emotion, and it's a fullness. It's a deep feeling. It's not a surface level like, oh, if I did that, then maybe I'd get this sort of reward of like attention, or I would get, you know, it's like sort of like a surface level kind of like, like, oh, I want to prove myself in this way, or I want to like get this kind of attention or this sort of feedback, or, you know, that might feel more surface level. A deep emotion is like, wow, would I feel emotionally fulfilled by doing that? Or wow, I get this strong feeling in my gut of like expansiveness. Like I could see myself creating this and just keeping it going. So for me, what comes to mind with that feeling is I would love to write a fantasy series someday. And this idea of something that it can just keep expanding and deepening and growing, where it's like not something that is going to be rushed. It's something that has this like deeper potential. And I get such feelings in my gut of like excitement and that, you know, but it's a deeper feeling. It's not a fleeting like, oh, hey, it'd be nice to like, you know, do this for whatever more surfacey reason. You know, it's a deeper feeling. So I hope that makes sense. And hey, and that goes along too with the strength card, since they're both dragons, of like doing something that can really be long lasting, something that has the ability to really take root and have some strength behind it, so you keep going. So yeah, that is our creativity candle. Now let's move to the spiritual candle, and I feel like this will be related to this perhaps because the High Priestess really set the tone for this candle having such like a spiritual undertone, the creative pursuit. So let's see. Our underlying sort of beneath the surface feeling is the 10 of Pentacles. We have these two tigers that are connected. You know, what I'm getting from this is an abundance of resources that are within you. And I want to say that if you're someone who's been kind of reaching externally in spirituality in a way, like you've been reaching for other people's teachings or opinions, or reaching towards tools, reaching towards, I don't know, there could be so many different things that this is. Sort of like putting your spirituality externally rather than internally. I think that what your guides want you to know is that everything is within you. And the act of reaching outside of yourself for spiritual fulfillment, and this doesn't mean like not going to a teacher, not like, you know, taking a class, or not, you know, or not getting a certain tool that makes you feel a certain way. It's about like letting this impulse be an internal one that reflects your internal journey, and not abandoning your internal journey and putting it instead in someone else's hands, or instead placing it in like the acquisition of material objects. I feel like your guides would want you to know that everything is within you. And that aspect, which is the most important aspect, might be something that's been under the covers, kind of like ignored. But really, everything should be coming from within and kind of returning back within. So I'm looking at these tigers. It's almost like you look at those tails. Like you have this, I don't know if this will make sense, but I'm just looking at the like shape of these tails. It's like you go out, you experience whatever it is, or retrieve whatever it is, or learn whatever it is, and then you bring it back in. But it starts from within and it returns, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's see what sort of reflection would help bring this out. We have the 6 of Cups. Oh my gosh, is this beautiful? First of all, look at this fairy tea party that's happening here. So I see this as your childlike self. And I think that you knew everything was within you spiritually when you were a child. And you had access to those realms, and you could speak more plainly with the spirits that you sense, be it your angel, your personal guardian angel, be it like the spirit of a tree or an animal. It's like you can more easily converse with that because you knew it was true, and you knew it within yourself, and you knew that even though you were, you know, a smaller human and had much less like experience, at least in this lifetime, and, weren't established in like all of the ways that we establish ourselves as adults, you knew that there was something so much bigger within you. And isn't it funny that as then we grow and then we establish ourselves, that our inner world shrinks? So this is about realizing that rich, true, expansive world is within you and returning to that. Oh gosh, this is beautiful. So let's see what kind of action spiritually would we take for this? We have the 5 of Swords. Interesting. I'm getting the feeling that there might be almost like a battle of words within your own head. Like you almost have to have words with yourself and certain like belief systems or things that you've taken on, where it's almost like have a serious like internal conversation with your mind and be like, okay, what information have I taken in that doesn't resonate with this inner reality and truth that I have? And what information does resonate with me? Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like, once again, if things are coming a lot externally, what's missing is that affirmation, that connection with the internal, and making sure that everything continues to resonate and build upon that inner world. I feel like too, it's almost like selling yourself short. We have the 6 of Cups, which feels so full, and that's your childlike experience. And then we go backwards. We have the 5, and it's of Swords, and it's kind of like, it's almost like self-limiting, limiting yourself. And this is going to resonate differently for, different people listening to this. What? It's because I'm using 2 decks, but look at our guiding, wow, look at that. Okay, do you remember when, I can't even speak. We had the 10 of Pentacles here at the bottom, right? This was our underlying energy. And what do we use as our sign and our guide? Well, it's the same card. It's the 10 of Coins. It's the 10 of Pentacles. And remember when I was like, you start from within, you reach out, and then you return internally? That's exactly what it's saying. You check everything by your inner truth, your inner world, your inner reality, your inner resources. Everything, the 5 of Swords, like, you might need to kind of cut apart certain like belief systems and things in your mind, things that you've maybe gathered externally, and make sure you're checking everything by your internal like guidance. You know what I mean? It's all there. It's all there. You already know. You already know what resonates and what doesn't. You already know what is true and helpful for you and what isn't. So I feel like overall, yeah, this is the spiritual candle of discernment. It's the spiritual candle of trusting yourself and of looking towards that internal world and that, childlike openness and wonder and nature that you have. Wow. Gosh, I love that candle. I've loved both of these candles so far. I'm really enjoying the spread. I hope you all are too. So now let's look at our life candle. I'm very curious if this is going to like have a specific message for life or a more general one. We will see. But let me take a sip of my matcha. Okay, so the Fool. Whoa. Well, perfect for Imbolc, which is about sort of, setting intentions and beginning to awaken and planting seeds. We have the Fool, which is like new beginnings, and also having very little baggage. You can see that a lot with some of the more traditional Fool cards, where it's like someone with a tiny little pack. What are those called? Where you have like a stick and a little pouch on the end. If you saw our recent moon message reading, it was very much about lightness and kind of releasing some baggage and choosing wisely what it is you bring with you. And I feel like this has to do with that. I might want to kind of look at the candle as a whole before giving like an exact sort of reading on life, but I feel like that this is part of it, is setting out on a new journey and releasing some baggage. So let's see what our next one is, reflection, upon kind of making clear what this is. Whoa, the reflection is Ace of Swords. Yeah, so this is, wow, what I get the feeling with this actually is free will. Like you have the free will to speak your intention and to go in that direction. This is another new beginnings card. So I think we're right on the money with that, with the new beginnings. But this is like you have the free will to choose what it is you're intending and setting forth towards. But once again, have lightness. This is air, swords. Don't carry too much baggage with you. Swords, if you need to cut something out, like be willing to do that. So I think we're getting a sense of spring cleaning. We're like entering the time of spring cleaning, right? Spring cleaning, simplifying, lightness of being as you move towards whatever it is. So our action that we take is the King of Wands. Oh gosh, I mean, well, for one, it's beautiful to have an action card have fire. Like there's energy behind this action. I think that it, you know, this might be speaking especially to people in the Northern Hemisphere where we're like gonna start being like emerging from winter, but for everyone, because we're moving towards Aries season, is that I think that you're gonna be getting a new burst of energy coming in. And the king is about wisely using that energy, not wasting the energy, very wisely using it and being confident in your choices of how you're using it. So I think that the king, you know how the king sort of like sets the law, but then also like would be like the implementer of the law. The law is the intention that you set, free will you set. And then this is like very much like implementing, holding yourself to that, putting the energy in the wisest direction, using your resources in the wisest way towards what this intention is. And it does. Once again, it feels like a new beginning. But the king tells me too, don't have an imposter syndrome with your new beginning. You are ready for it. You are the king. You know, you have mastered certain things in your life, and from that place is where you can take this new start and this new beginning. Okay? I'm getting an impression of what this might mean for me. I'm very curious if this is going to come to be. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, I have a feeling from that, so that's cool. By the way, let me know, you know, if you're watching the premiere or in the comments, if you have any sort of like impressions from any of these cards, any of these candles. I would love to hear about it. And now, our flame, our sign, our guiding light is, by the way, all of these I was intending to read upright, so. Oh my gosh. It is the 6 of coins. A blessing. Some kind of resource. Something handed to you. Something given to you. I feel like for some people this will be from a person, but some other people it might be almost like the universe like gives you an opportunity or gives you the resources you need, or there's something. So I wonder if this Fool, if this new direction, this new beginning is something you kind of sat on or set aside and said, when the timing is right, I'll know. This is how you'll know that the timing is right. Because there's going to be something, some sort of gift, some sort of blessing, some sort of resource that helps make this possible. And if the rest of it still feels unsure, trust in this. Trust in this. And get rid of anything that's kind of like weighing you down. Because if you are releasing, then it makes room for blessings to come in. So I think that's really important too. All right, so this could mean different things depending on like, it makes sense for a collective reading. This can mean different things depending on what area of life you're in. But hey, how suitable for Imbolc too. How suitable. So it's like Imbolc is kind of like opening the door for spring to come in, you know? Spring cleaning. Setting that candle, setting those intentions. I really, really enjoyed this reading. I hope that you all did too. Please let me know in the comments below. If you want to get this for yourself, like I said, we will be doing it on a live stream, probably on one of the days of Imbolc, if not both. And yeah, I would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.